Hello, I'm Katie Rushworth and I'm here today in the show garden that I've designed for Tongue Garden Centre, and I want to show you around. Now, I designed the garden on common problems that people come up against often in a garden. So we divided it into sections, hopefully tackling and giving you some kind of information on how to deal with those tricky spots in the garden. Often under a tree like this can be really dry and shady spots are always common areas that people really struggle to make things grow. So everything in this bed here is meant to cope in the shade. Things like this anemone, which is beautiful white flower, and the thing about using white flowers in shade is they really kind of illuminate a dark spot, so any kind of white flower in the shade is excellent. Hostas always do brilliantly well. These are perennial foxgloves, which means they come back every year. This is foam flower, is its common name, or tiarella, and it's a lovely plant for kind of this tapestry effect. It has these lovely leaves with marbled markings on them, really pretty. Now, you will often find when planting in shade that the things that thrive offer lots of texture. So things like the tiarella and the heuchera, this dicentra and the hosta all have this really interesting foliage. So it's about kind of creating a tapestry effect. And en masse like this, when they're all planted together, they naturally tie in and look really, really pretty. Over here, I've got a mixed border with some more summer colour. This is a mixed border, and by mixed border that means it has a mixture of shrubs and perennials in it. And to get a successful mixed border, you really want it to look good for most of the year, and you do that by using evergreens. The evergreens I've used here are box, yew, the hebes down here with a white flower, and then euonymus, which has got this variegated leaf. So even though in the height of summer you have lots of colourful flower, when they die back in the autumn time, you will still have some nice form and structure in the depths of winter. And that's what kind of gives this extended period of interest. Now, you'll also notice that I kept the colour palette really, really simple. It's just pinks and blues and purples. And sometimes if you're not the most confident at spacing plants and deciding what goes well together, keeping a limited colour palette will always look more natural. Over here, the guys at Tongue have made me these amazing sedum spheres because I really wanted to pick up on the shape of the yew and the box, but do something a little bit more interesting that will also look good all year round. So this is 2 hanging baskets planted up with saxifraga and sedum, and it looks amazing and it will look this good all year. So it's a really simple and effective thing to do in the garden. I've also placed some grasses, and grasses are another thing that really act like the glue in a planting design, and they're really forgiving. So using any grasses, you might not think, or not many people do see the appeal of them, but actually they instantly make an area seem more naturalistic, and they kind of just create a gel that knits everything together by adding this lovely movement. So don't overlook them. Grasses can really soften a scheme. This part is definitely more formal in feel. It has these clipped Ilex crenata spheres, which again pick up on the mixed border, so we're keeping the theme going throughout the space. And then I've underplanted them with lavender. Both really easy maintenance. I'm also really fond of these. It's something I like doing in all the gardens that I design if I can, and it's creating little pockets in the paving just for small alpine plants like this. It just softens the space. Things like thyme and dianthus release a lovely fragrance, and they will cope with a little bit of kind of scuffing by people's feet. And they just kind of lift the whole area. There are a couple of patches of them here and there, and yeah, they just kind of, again, tie the space together, giving everywhere a little bit of unity and rhythm in colour. So it's working well. This, I think, is my piece de resistance. It has had such an amazing response, and it just looks fabulous. It is really a focal point of the garden, and you can use this to clad any area of the garden. It's a real focal point. So you can do it on a wall, on a fence, it could be used as screening in sections throughout the garden, and you can fill it with whatever you like. I've used a mixture of thyme and heather and annuals in here, nemesia, so it has a huge range of things in, and it all adds kind of a lovely depth and texture. I've linked the colour of plants in here as I have to the mixed borders and the containers. So again, it's about creating this rhythm of colour throughout the space. and it looks so effective. It looks absolutely fantastic. There are lots of ideas here in the garden that you can do at home, and Tong have created some wonderful leaflets, how-to leaflets on the seed and ball and shade planting and the mixed border. So pop into store and get yourself one of these. And for more how-to videos, visit tonggardencentre.co.uk.